We're now on air. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Ethan here from Investing Note. Yeah, so we'll wait a couple of minutes to allow more attendees to join, right? Hope everybody is doing well. Cool, we see a lot of attendees coming in. So of course, we have three special guests: Ella from Everest Fortune Group, Dan, from PhillipCapital, and of course Alvin from Societe Generale.
Hello.
All right, great. So we'll wait a couple of minutes. So thank you everybody for joining our market commentary. So I'd like to share something that is related to our final round of the tournament, right?
Let me just share this. Hello, can you guys hear me? Sorry, I got disconnected. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, I can still hear you.
Great. So for audiences right now tuning into this live market commentary, I'd like to share something which is our active trading tournament. As you know, the active trading tournament is the largest in Singapore. We had 2,000 people, and right now we are in the final round. So there are two rounds to this: elimination round and the final round, right? So the finalists are actually the top 10 guys who actually made it to the top 10, and they are right now battling out right here. So if you go to our main website, you can actually see the top 10 guys, right? So Mr. Trading Note has a total percentage return of 9.1%, right? In just a span of 3 days, right? So you can see, if you click into their profiles, you can see what they are buying and selling as well, right? You can see it at the bottom. So he actually cashed out on a long Xiaomi. All right. So I'd like to bring your attention to this part as well, right? So this part at the top, you can click View Analytics. So actually give you a snapshot on what everybody is buying and selling live, right? This is what makes our tournament so interesting. Okay. So you can see the top wins and losses: long JD, long Meituan, long Xiaomi. And as we know, the Hong Kong market has been pretty crazy lately as well. Okay, so for people who are interested in really trading the DLCs, we have worked with a couple of our partners: PhillipCapital, FSM1, UOB Kay Hian, and also Maybank Kim Eng. So they have their own individual promotions. So once you click the simulation button at the top, you scroll down, you can actually see all the different promos, right? So please feel free to go there and explore the promos. I think most of them are giving free trades and even free commissions, right? So I leave it to you guys to actually check it out. All right, just click any of the banners to check them out. All right. So I think without further ado, we will start the webinar proper. So Dan, tell us what's happening in the market lately.
Okay, thanks, Ethan.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well and staying safe. And congrats to the 10 finalists in this SG Active Trading Tournament. Okay, actually today we are exactly 20 days away from the US presidential election.
Wow.
So yeah, in the past 2 weeks, right, Wall Street in general has been trending up, okay, but it has not been a smooth ride lah. Okay, so in the build up to this US presidential election, we have actually seen the first presidential debate, which I think boils down to more like personal attacks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And from the last webinar, we have news that Trump actually got COVID as well.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So about 3 days later, then there was this news on Trump getting this COVID infection, and the market actually reacted a bit. Okay, they were down quite significantly at the start. Okay, then over the weekend, right, Trump get out of this hospital on Monday, and the first thing he did was to reject the Democrats' stimulus package. Okay, only to tweet hours later that he's actually willing to accept half lah. So the part of the proposal. So for those who are really looking at the market in that Monday morning, right, we actually see quite a swing lah. Okay, so STI, or for that matter, the regional market has been opening low, but starting to trend high as the days goes by. Okay, then of course I think going forward, right, these unexpected events should keep us on our toes. Okay, and looking ahead for the next 2 weeks, right, now to about 3rd of November. Okay, I think there are three key events that we may want to take note of lah. Okay, of course, these as mentioned before, the first one would be this US election. Okay, always ready for any unexpected event. Okay, because as we have seen, for this Trump COVID-19 infection to the tick for tack stimulus proposal, right? I think we are going to have more unexpected news going forward lah. It's just that we don't know when they are going to do something. Okay, because they need to both the Trumps and the Democrats need to swing the vote in, and they only have 2 weeks left. Yeah, and the second thing, of course, is this stimulus package. Okay, solely my own opinion is that when it was first moved, right, a few months ago, I think it was a genuine move to help the economy. Okay, but it has been on a standstill for the last few months, and now that election looms, I do have a feeling that this has been used as an election agenda for both camps. Okay, so Democrats are trying to push it through to get some brownie points, while Trump, while trying to show support for this stimulus, is not letting the Democrats to get the credit for this. You see, so there is a so-called a fight between these two camps for this stimulus package lah. But I think in time to come, it's not whether this stimulus package will be introduced or not. It's rather whether it's before the election or after the election. Yeah, and of course, the third event that we may want to look out for is the earnings season. Actually, this week we are already entering to the US earning reporting season, with a lot of major companies reporting soon. In fact, last night, JP Morgan and Citibank have both reported better than expected results. Okay, but of course, the price dropped for some reason. I think most likely is because of some company-specific news. I mean, Citigroup, there's news that some of their labs in this operational process has might lead to some regulatory penalties. Okay, so there's these concerns that's been pulling these Citigroup back. But I think in time to come, they might rebound in some way lah, because the result is actually much better than expected. Okay, so in general, right, this earnings season, I think most company, the result may not be too bad. Okay, but more importantly, I think is the guidance that they are going to give. Okay, which I think should be good going forward lah, because it looks, or rather it seems, barring a second wave of infection, that we might be moving out from the darkest moment of this pandemic. Okay, so and moving on to the local scene, right? As a broker who is sitting in front of the computer every day, I have actually observed a drop in market activity since the start of October. But nevertheless, right, despite this drop, we have actually seen a nice gentle uptrend in the STI since the end of September. I think we are now way above, not say way above, we are somewhere above 2,500 points. And I think this could probably due to the MAS move to allow banks to pledge these HDB property loans to boost access to credit lah. Okay, this of course will be good for banks. As we can see, DBS has been moving from 19 plus to now I think $21 plus. Okay, and because STI is bank heavy, so when the bank move up, right, STI generally also move up. Okay, and when STI move up, right, it generally have a positive view on the general market sentiment. Okay, of course, having said that, right, we also cannot discount some of the company-specific news that has come for the past 1-2 weeks lah. Okay, so just to share some stocks that presently have some company-specific news and are moving up a bit. Okay, this morning, actually, Wilmar have just announced that their China listing, this Yihai Carry Arawana, is going to be listed on this Shenzhen exchange or tomorrow, 15 October. IPO price 25.70 renminbi. Okay, the stock code is 300,999. Okay, so this listing, right, actually has been in the news for the past almost past 1 year, and Wilmar has always been trending up slowly on this news until a few months ago when one of their US major shareholder sold about 10% of the stake in this Wilmar. Okay, since then Wilmar have came down back from a high of 496 to about 44 plus, and now it's trending up again. Okay, and this trending up has to do with this final approval by the China authorities on this listing, and finally we are going to see the listing tomorrow. Okay, I think this might have a positive impact on Wilmar as a whole. Okay, so investors may want to take a look at Wilmar. Okay, the other stocks that also have some company-specific news is Capital Corp. Okay, I think we all can agree that offshore and marine is not doing very well, and ever since Temasek has revoked their partial offer, right, Capital has dropped to a low of I think about 4.08. Okay, but since I think about 2 weeks or 1 week ago, a lot of analysts has came out. I've came across quite a few research reports that says that at current pricing, right, at current valuation, $4 plus, they are actually discounting a lot their O&M business already. Okay, so the valuation is already very attractive. Okay, subsequently, Capital also came out with an announcement on their Vision 2030. Okay, so they have already identified a lot of assets that can be potentially monetized over time, and they are also looking to unlock about 3 billion to 5 billion in the next 3 years. In fact, they have already done some of it it was in the news already about 2 days ago, where one of their wholly owned subsidiary has already divested their interest in one of these company in Thailand, the business online public company that is by the Keppel T&T. Okay. Subsequently, Keppel O&M have also announced that they have clinched a 600 million contract. Okay. So all in all, right, Keppel Corp look like they are on the rebound. And even at this pricing, right, 450, is still a very far off from the pre-partial offer price of about 5 plus. Okay, so this one counter that investor may want to take note. Okay, and looking forward, in fact, on our local market, right, we are also moving into this our own earnings season next week. And if you want to know which company is reporting when, you can refer to Investing Note calendar page. They have a very comprehensive calendar there, and you can, at a glance, you'll know which company will be announcing when. Okay. Personally, I think that result may not be the most ideal. Okay, but as I mentioned earlier, companies are moving out of the darkest moment of this pandemic, barring a second wave of infection. So I think the outlook that will be given by this company should be better. And I'm quite positive on this outlook that will be given out by the company. And to add to that, right, words on the street, I believe a lot of us have already heard, is that we might be expecting a phase 3 roadmap very soon. It could be this week, it could be next week, or it could be the next 2 weeks. Okay, this phase 3 roadmap, right, will further ease the restriction on our economy, and I think this might benefit some of the sector like aviation, retail, and hospitality. Okay, so investor may also want to take a look at SIA for the short term. Okay, because when there's some easing in the border restriction, right? I believe SIA will have some revenue coming in as well, lah. Okay, so overall, right, I'm actually cautiously optimistic of the market at least till the end of the year, lah. Yeah. Yep.
All right, great sharing, Dan. That's a very comprehensive outlook of what's happening around the world and Singapore as well. So let's move on to the Hong Kong market. As you know, yesterday we, I was checking the prices in Hong Kong, and then it was like, there was no data. So yesterday actually, Hong Kong market was closed due to typhoon, right? So maybe Ella, can share with us what's the latest updates for the Hong Kong market as well.
Okay, yeah. So for Hong Kong market, since October, there has been an uptrend for Hong Kong market. So Hong Kong market has been a very steady upward trend since beginning of October. And for the past 2 weeks, I think one thing that's moving the market is, those tech firms in US kind of resumed this trend, rising trend. And a lot of those tech names that we have discussed in previous webinars, like Xiaomi, Alibaba, JD, they kind of regain the strengths from their US counterpart. And coming to, especially last week, okay, as people are expecting some, iPhone releases this week, actually came in this morning. So I think those who have been a fan of iPhone products, they would be glad to see the iPhone 12. They have a couple of versions, iPhone 12 mini, so with ranging prices. So the lowest can pay is around $1,000. Okay, I think it's around $1,099 US. You can own an iPhone mini. So it's a pretty comprehensive product suits for iPhone again. And I think a lot of investors must be wondering one question. So should I buy into iPhone or not? Should I go into other supply chain names or not? There's plenty of iPhone, Apple supply chain names, which is very hot in Hong Kong stock market. Say AAC. So AAC is a manufacturing of those acoustic components. So meaning the mini speakers that is in your cell phones. And say Sunny Optical. So it manufactures and designs those optic component that is used in cell phones, smartphones. So those are the hot names that we have seen in past 2 weeks. It's riding the trend up, okay? But one thing is Apple was down about 2% last night after the release. I think one thing that people worry is about the price. So if you look at the 5G price, it's not that cheap, okay? It's not that cheap. So people are wondering, okay, should I still follow this 5G replacement strategy? So people are saying that with 5G, advanced technology, so people will, replace their old phones with the new 5G phones, including the iPhone 12, iPhone enabled ones. I think one good answer to this question is, instead of investing to iPhone or wondering whether this Apple prices could go up or not, you can actually go into those Apple suppliers. So it's to be said that many suppliers to Apple are not exclusive. They supply not only to Apple, but also to Apple competitors such as Samsung or Xiaomi Corp. If you look at the smartphone market share, okay, it's quite concentrated in the top 5 players. So Samsung still take the most market shares, about 21%. And Huawei is the next one, about 17. Okay, and then Xiaomi and another BBK group. So basically, they're manufacturing Oppo and Vivo phones. Take another 17%, and Apple is around 14%. So those are the biggest 5 players. It took about 70% of the market shares. So if you think of investing into those supply chains, manufacturing such as AAC or Sunny Tech, Okay, you're actually riding the whole 5G trend, not only wondering whether iPhone is going to lead this trend or not. Yeah. So fortunately for suppliers, it's not a zero-sum game. Okay, actually playing a growing pie. If you go in for those names, instead of wondering if iPhone 12 is going to bring in huge revenue growth for Apple or not, investing into those supplier names is more of a 5G replacement story. Yeah, so we can take a look at AAC first. Yeah, you might not have heard of AAC before, but you've almost definitely heard from it. So AAC is one of the most advanced manufacturers of miniature acoustic components. So just like the tiny speakers that sit inside your iPhones. Yeah, so Apple supply substitute for 40% of the revenue every year. And it also has some of the large clients like Xiaomi and BBK, like Oppo and Vivo. They're also big in China, okay? So recently, this AAC has seen some trough in prices because according to its first half earnings, the income come down 55% year over year, and its share price dropped about 30% ever since then. But I do think that this slowdown in revenue, slowdown in earning, the revenue still grows around 30 to 40%. So it's a good trend in growth. I do think that this drag down in income is because, first of all, we had this COVID-19 hitting most of the market, not only China market, but also US market, most of developed market. But second thing is they have invested a lot into R&Ds. Especially we have news came in July that Xiaomi and Huawei, they decided to invest into AAC technology. So yeah, they have set up a fund, mutual venture fund to enable these R&D expenses, these cap expenditures for AAC to go into more advanced optic research. So overall, I do think it's a nice pullback, AAC. Yeah, because first of all, its revenue stream mainly come from acoustic and also the haptic part. So acoustic meaning those tiny speakers that we have in our phone. So in this part, it's keeping upgrading its skills. It has the old skill called the old platform called SBS, meaning catering to the medium to low end brands. But it has recently launched a higher premium platform called SLS. So this will cater to higher end flagship smartphones like iPhone 12. Those are the direct products that went into. So this strong cooperation will still go there, supporting for its very stable growth in the revenue. And second part of the revenue stream, another 50% or almost 50% come from this haptic business segment. So what is haptic? So it meaning that screen touch technology. Think of it as simple as some force touch or 3D touch feelings. When you press on your iPhone, you can feel the sensor, you can feel the move there. So that is what it does. Okay, that is what it does. And this part continue to do good, continue to grow very well. And if you are Android user, you might find it's not that common to have this function like 3D touch, 4D touch. It's more seen as a premium function for most of the phones. Okay, so like iPhone and Huawei. And this part is seen as a growth potential for the company, for AAC technology, because since it has very strong cooperation with Xiaomi and with BBK, say Vivo and Oppo. Yeah, those are the two brands that meaning sells very well in China, also in India, and some of the European markets. So it's likely that those Android phones will adopt more of these haptic functions like 3D touch, 4D, force touch functions. So this is gonna be another stable and more strong potential growth room for AAC. Yeah. So last but not least, right now optic business only account for less than 5 or 6% of the total revenue growth, but it still got a very big ambitions. This group, it has acquired a wafer level glasses, this technology from some European countries. Yeah, it's basically saying that it's using photolithography technology, which is widely used in semiconductor industry to do, to make your lenses, to improve the accuracy of, and production in those miniature glass grinding process to make your lens more, with higher pixels, make it available to the public. So that's saying a very advanced technology as possible to make a huge innovation in this industry. So although it only account for 5 to 7% to revenues, the optic part, but it's likely to surpass the current technology and overtake the current technology. Okay, so I think overall, AAC is staying very well positioned in this 5G replacement trend, be it Apple, iPhone 12, or other brands like Xiaomi or Huawei. It has a very stable growth in terms of revenues, and also has very strategy views about R&D and where it's going. Because I think the weakness for this stock is acoustic is not something you are likely to feature in selling the phone. So we hear a lot about more cameras, more clearer cameras, like iPhone. It has the 3 cameras now, but we don't really hear much about music phones, say. So that's something why you would like to go into those optic industry. You would like to put more R&Ds in those parts. But the good thing is it has a very stable revenue in hand from the acoustic and haptic business part. Okay, haptics business part also could provide some growth potentials there, because Android market is so much bigger than iPhone market, still around 85% of the total market shares there. So I would say that because of the growth in haptic and also the advanced technology it has acquired in optic, it will still have a huge growth potentials ahead. Yeah, I do think that AAC technology is well prepared for these 5Gs. And speaking of AAC, we cannot neglect another name, which is Sunny Optical. So probably more people have heard these names. Yeah, Sunny Optical basically designs, manufacturing, and sells optical components for smartphones, including cell phone camera modules and lenses. Okay, so for lenses business, the profit margin can be quite high. For Sunny Optical, it's not the top player in the industry. The top player is still from Taiwan. So both the top 1 and top 2 are from Taiwan. Sunny Optical could be seen as somewhere in the second tier in this industry, okay, in this field. But the good thing is it has a very good strategy allocation and has a very strong relationship with those Xiaomi, BB so Vivo and Oppo brands. Yeah, and it supplies for Samsung. So think of it, of the top 5, it supplies for 3 or 4 brands there. So consider the relationship with them, the revenue stability is quite high, okay? Why I'm saying that Sunny Optical is good, because of this 5G replacement. As I have just mentioned, that a lot of cell phone smartphone makers are trying to make their phones different. Okay, one of strategy they use is to promote more cameras. Now we have trial camera, and probably we'll have more multiple cameras with more pixel available to make your pictures more clearer. You're literally, you know, holding a camera, a video in your video recorder in your hand instead of a camera, instead of your smartphone. Okay. So as innovation in smartphones become increasingly more challenging, we do see that Sunny Optical was in a very, very well positioned field with its, you know, R&D goes mainly into those optic technology. Yeah, so I'll give you the data. The trial camera phones will comprise 30% of the global smartphone market by end of 2020, up from 12% in 2019. Yeah, year-over-year growth is quite high. So, so you're basically riding the trend for people to have more cameras on their phones, and this trend is proved in the market. Okay, over the past 2 years, especially after 2018, smartphone business has kind of goes into a consolidation period where the growth shows some softness, where you can see in TMSC chip making sales as well. But Sunny Optical has been able to outcome this softness for the past 2 years. Okay, we have seen a stable growth around 20 to 30% over the past 2 years, even though the whole industry was in a quite weak demand. And you know, apart from cell phone, smartphone, it's also well prepared for smart cars. Okay, very interestingly, currently it has about 60% of sales come from vehicle lens sets. Yeah, so it's one of the leaders in global market shares for vehicle lens, and the market could just expand substantially as this autonomous vehicle technology advances. It's not easy to achieve this, because for this autonomous driving to become mature, it has to require many optical components such as heads-up display, smart headlights, LiDAR, and electronic rear view mirrors. And very luckily, you know, Sunny Optical was very well positioned in this field. So if you're going to see more good trends in those smart cars like Tesla, you know, it has self-driving technologies, and with more AI technology combined those, you will definitely need those optical components as well, okay, to enable very smooth driving experiences. Yeah, so I think last but not least, you're always thinking about 5G, right? 5Gs will always require, you know, more videos, more pictures from us. So yeah, that's why Sunny Optical is again in a very well positioned place in this 5G replacement trend. So instead of thinking, you know, whether Apple iPhone 12 are going to sell very well or not, you can actually invest into those two, you know, pronounced supplier names, AAC and Sunny Optical. So of the two, I do want to point out that these two currently have quite similar valuations. So AAC have a forward P ratio around 27, and Sunny Optical has the similar range. Okay, it's also about 27. Okay, but PEG wise, in terms of growth, PEG wise, AAC is slightly higher at 1.8. Sunny Optical is, you know, slightly lower at 1.4. In my personal view, I think Sunny Optical is more well positioned in this 5G replacement trend, or, you know, AI self-driving trend. So if you compare these two, given the fundamentals views, I will prefer Sunny Optical, and given its strong growth and even lower PEG ratio at 1.7, 1.4, yeah, it seems a good buy now. Yeah, that's pretty much for. I choose the most two interesting names, AAC and the Sunny Optical. And coincidentally, we have these Apple releases this morning, and I hope you guys can make advantage of this, this noise period where Apple shares is going to see some volatilities, and it's likely that these two shares, AAC and Sunny Optical, would experience similar, volatilities. Yeah, probably you have a very good price to buy.
Thank you, Ella, for sharing. Yeah, so Apple yesterday had that event, so I was tuning in as well. So over to you, Alvin. So Alvin, can you share with us what are the DLCs that are interesting to actually look at with all these stocks that both Ella and Dan has mentioned earlier?
Okay, sure. So I guess I'll just quickly give you guys an update on DLCs. I think if we look at first of all on Sunny Optical and AAC, they have been having some tractions. Recently they were not the hottest DLCs, but they have always been among the most popular DLCs, because both of them are quite volatile, and whenever when Tencent or DBS, this kind of blue chip stocks have a volatility of 1 or 2% per day, you probably will see Sunny Optical or AAC moving 5 or even more in a day. And I think as mentioned by Ella, I think definitely the release of new iPhone would definitely have make either Apple or these two stocks move quite a lot, either up or down. To me, I am a little bit more on the pessimistic side, because I don't think the new iPhone has been very innovative. But whatever view you have, you can utilize a DLC to express your view, right? And the other thing I want to mention is that if you look at the DLCs available on Sunny Optical and AAC, you probably would see quite a few options, because we have started issuing DLCs on these two names a long time ago, and then you probably will find quite a lot. Even for example, for long DLCs on AAC, you probably will see 3 or even more DLCs. And as mentioned last time, whenever you have more than one options, pick the one that is at the highest price, because that is the one that can give you the tightest bid-ask spread and the most sensitivity to the underlying share price. Okay, and so the other thing I would like to bring to you is that these few days, right? If we look at the hottest DLCs, I think over the past few days, it has always been Xiaomi. The reason why is that well, first of all, is one of the hottest tech stocks lately, and it's also very volatile compared to other tech stocks. Compared to Alibaba, compared to say Meituan, Xiaomi is even more volatile and even more exciting to traders. And just the last Monday, right? The Hong Kong market rebounded a lot because President Xi is visiting Shenzhen, and and actually today he in the morning he just started to share the Shenzhen new policies, and also to congratulate Shenzhen for being established for 40 years already. And one of the potential policies that will be rolled out potentially is the CDR, meaning China depository receipt, being listed on Shenzhen. And basically what it means is that all the so-called red chips. Okay, first of all, what's meant by red chips? Red chips is all the Chinese companies that are registered outside of China. So for example, we all know what is H shares, right? So H shares is all the Chinese companies that are registered in China but are listed in Hong Kong. Red chip, on the contrary, is Chinese companies that are registered outside of China. For example, all the tech stocks that were listed lately, Xiaomi and Meituan, all these are regarded as red chips, and also more like a traditional blue chips, for example, like China Mobile, or say CNOOC are red chips as well. So Xiaomi in the past already expressed interest to list its CDRs in China, I mean, if possible. And in the past, Shenzhen Stock Exchange also has mentioned, previously that they were interested, in exploring this project. And so I think maybe more news will be released on the CDRs, and if that's the case, then it can potentially be a catalyst on Xiaomi as well. And that's why actually, if you look at the Xiaomi share price on Monday, it shot up by 6% already. And but overall speaking, the market on Monday, basically all the stocks, all the major stocks, I would say, related to China, all of them shot up quite a lot, but Xiaomi among them shot up even more. So that will be the the updates that I would like to bring to you. And last thing that I would like to add is, because we have previously mentioned that we would like to ramp up our coverage on Chinese tech stocks even further. So the next batch, which will be listed actually tomorrow, will have long and short DLCs on 3 more stocks, namely Ali Health, Ping An Good Doctor, or called Ping An Health, or depending on how you call it. And the last one is BYD. And I think among them, the most interesting one is BYD. Just go check out the share price. BYD has been all the way up. It's like it's even crazier than Meituan. And electric cars, as mentioned by Ella, is definitely the trend. And Chinese government has also been subsidizing and promoting the growth of electric cars as well. And BYD is definitely the leader of it. And I think this will be quite an interesting stock, and you are going to have a long and short 5 times DLCs on it tomorrow. Okay, so that will be the update from me.
All right, thanks, Alvin. Sounds like a very interesting market in Hong Kong. So I think for audiences are mostly Singaporean. So how you can take advantage of this is basically you can look at the DLCs, because of course the DLCs are denominated in Sing dollars, and you can trade it with your run-of-the-mill average brokerage account. Just contact your brokers. So I'd like to reiterate back to the tournament, right? So I was just checking out BYD, really had a big run, right? So back to the tournament, take a look at what the top guys are trading here, right? Go click simulation, look at the top guys, what they're trading, all right? So you can get a better sense of how they're looking at the market as well. And to sum it all out, we're also having ongoing promos with these collaborating brokers, PhillipCapital, FSM1, UOB Kay Hian, Maybank Kim Eng. They have each their own promotions. So do click on the banner and check them out. All right. So anybody have any questions, please put into the Q&A section. Seems like nobody has any question. Calling once, calling twice. Nope. Okay, so I think we are a bit out of time, right? So thank you everybody for attending this weekly update. So we'll have more in the future, and do let us know if you need anything, and you can always talk to Dan on Investing Note as well. All right, thanks Ella, thanks Dan, thanks Alvin for your time, and thank you everybody for taking the time to attend this webinar. All right, we'll end here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.